If you're not at Pinball Expo this year, you're really missing out. Pinball Expo 2025 is in full swing currently right now. This is the 41st anniversary of the event, and I always look forward to it each and every year. It's one of the highlights of my con schedule. This year I'm having a blast, so much so that you can already tell that I'm losing my voice, so apologies that it sounds like I've been a chain smoker for 30 years. I promise I'm not, but having an absolutely amazing time, so it's time for another recap video. I'm going to show you and talk about all the things you may have seen or missed if you didn't get to go this year. We'll do it vendor by vendor, and I'll put timestamps down in the video description box below in case you want to skip ahead. So right at the top, we always got to start with Stern because they are the largest manufacturer, and pinball wouldn't be what it is today if it wasn't for Stern Pinball. They're out there in full force, of course, always have a giant display, looks great. They're out there in full force showing, their lineup of games and of course highlighting their latest Star Wars Fall of the Empire game. The talk of the show floor was that they have an improvement installed on these show games that has something to do with the Death Star mech not rejecting as many balls, because that has been a common complaint with early adopters of this game. They also had a couple new products on display. They had their Deadpool topper for their illuminated topper line, as well as their new Godzilla. I didn't get to see any of the King Kong accessories that were recently just announced. I didn't see that they had those anywhere out there on site. Kind of disappointed. I want to see those up close and personal. I do think their King Kong topper is nice, especially if you're a pro owner, because the pro owners didn't have the animatronic King Kong. So if you get that topper as a pro owner, you now have, the best of both worlds. You've got a dancing gorilla on top of your machine that, has those animated movements. But if you don't want to do that, you can always go to the Electric Playground. They have an absolutely awesome King Kong topper. It's a fraction of the price. So, if you want to go that route, you can also do that as well. Jersey Jack Pinball, of course, was highlighting their brand new Harry Potter release. I've played this game numerous times on location and at the convention at various different places throughout the year since it's been released. I love the game. It's easily Jersey Jack Pinball's best shooting pinball, hands down. I think pretty much almost everybody can agree upon that. The only issue I have with this is, a personal issue, and it's just their use of AI art on the cabinet and the playfield and things like that. But they've been supposedly, working to change that moving forward with manufacturing. They've corrected the issues. They went back there and got rid of some of the AI mistakes that they used. So now that is, in play, that gives me nice warm and fuzzy feelings about maybe, owning that game later in the future, because prior to that, hard line in the sand, I absolutely refuse to, pay money for anything that used AI art. That's just a personal choice. If you disagree with me, A-okay with me, that's fine, you do you. But it's a wonderful game. It shoots amazing, got awesome mechs, and it's, it's a good value for the arcade edition. I still think that the Wizard edition, it's pretty except for their topper. I think it's really cheap and hokey looking, but other than that, the top end collector edition and the low end arcade edition are both fantastic games. So if you enjoy a Harry Potter, obviously you're gonna love this game. Hands down, the talk of the show, the one game that everybody wanted to see, wanted to play and experience first and foremost, was the Barrels of Fun new release Winchester House of Mystery. This is their latest game that they just announced literally days before Expo started. Sold out in a day and a half, 525 units, so congrats to the team. That's a very impressive, release, especially for a first game and a secretive release, if you will. Everything about this game is impressive. The sound design, the game layout, the flow, the path, the designer, Carl D'Angelo, very high level pinball player, as well as just a general good human being, which is always a nice add-on there. But props to the team that they put together for this game. If you're not familiar with it, it is a licensed title, but it kind of comes across as an unlicensed theme because it is very niche. But the way they've integrated everything, it's so well done. The sound package, the lighting, all the new upgrades that Barrels of Fun have started, implementing since they released Dune, all of those are present here on this game. You've got kind of theater of magic-esque narration call-outs, which I think are a very nice touch, and it goes with the spooky eeriness of the theme. In reality though, the most impressive thing to me just was the layout and the shot design, everything. There's multiple ball passes. There's a big mech in the back that kind of rotates like a lazy Susan on a playfield that gives multiple diversions and ball pass and redirects of things. You got all sorts of neat little features. You got Pepper's Ghost LCD, kind of spooky, eerie ghost effect going on there in the back left-hand corner, if you will. The apron lights up and has interactive features with it, which is cool because a lot of times that's just dead space. Artwork here is done by Brad Albright. He did a great job on this one. I love the color spectrum, the powder coating armor and everything. It looks good, especially in person. It's kind of hard to understand those type of things in pictures and stuff, but when you see the light hit it, it's got nice, metallic reflective sparkles in it, and it's got, a very nice teal. You got that high gloss, Radcal-esque artwork there all over the cabinet, so it's nice and shiny. It looks like it's been, clear coated 1,000 times, and it's scratch resistant, stuff like that. I mean, it looks like a phenomenally well-made machine, and I can attest to it playing extremely well. So all you home buyers, you're gonna be playing this for a while, and you're gonna have lots to explore, figuratively and literally. Pinball Brothers was there with Predator. This is their latest release. They even had a nice little meet and greet set up for one of the original actors that was in Predator for Friday and Saturday, which I thought was a nice touch. They had jungle theme canopy going around the 3 machines they had set up. This, by far and away, in my opinion, is the best playing Pinball Brothers machine they have released. I like Alien, but technically that's not really a Pinball Brothers game. That was designed by other people, and then they took it over and manufactured it and tweaked it a little bit. But I absolutely hated ABBA, I'm sorry. Not only on the theme, but just the gameplay. Queen, I absolutely love the band. I hated their Queen game. I just thought it was clunk fest, and I played multiple copies, multiple different years, and it was never a good experience. So I was very, very pleasantly surprised how well Predator played. It kind of has a Whirlwind-esque kind of layout, but it does things differently. It's got really cool theme integration with like the Predator apron that they've got integrated with the digits and the alphanumeric things going on. Neat toys and mechanics, and its biggest issues, I think, unfortunately, are price. I mean, this thing's coming in around $13,000, $14,000 when it's all said and done with shipping and tariffs and all that stuff. And some of that is beyond their control, but Predator super fans, I mean, you're gonna have to pay up big time to get this, but it is a beautiful looking machine. It did play very well. The call outs and everything, they've got an Arnold impersonator for certain things, and it's noticeable that it's not Arnold, but it's not so bad that you feel like you got the Dollar General version of Arnold. So they did a good job with this, so I'm happy this release looks like it's going to be better than previous ones in the past.
About that little job you pulled up in
Spooky Pinball wasn't officially here on site at Pinball Expo 2025, but they were represented well by one of their larger distributors. They had 6 custom Evil Dead machines out there with custom blood dripping powder coating that you could get there on site. They also had, Scooby-Doo, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and my personal favorite, Looney Tunes, out there to play. Obviously, everyone's enjoying them. Evil Dead is such an amazing game. All the people that have, bought it up because it did sell out. There's about half of them, I think, still waiting for their game, so there's a lot of anticipation for that one. But the latest release is just right around the corner with the rumored Beetlejuice game from Spooky, so we should be hearing that be officially announced any day now. So I'm anxious to check that out because I'm a huge Beetlejuice fan, so can't wait to see what they do with that. The homebrew section this year, my goodness, it makes my heart just swell with pride. First of all, I've always been a adamant supporter of the homebrew community. I love them to death. I think the most amazing stuff that goes on at Pinball Expo is in the homebrew section. This year, they had the largest footprint of any year that I've ever attended. It's come such a long way from being tucked away in the dark corner where it was, neglected, and it was the redheaded stepchild of the show. This time they had a prominent, massive display, lots of lighting, lots of decor, so many more homebrew games that I've seen than years past. It's a great setup this year. Definitely check it out. Another standout for me was Monster League Hockey. This is a head-to-head hockey game, in the pinball joust vein, if you will, to compare it to older previous games of that nature. But beautifully designed cabinet, LCDs integrated in the kind of the apron as well as the back area for scoring and just display information, black lighting effects, beautiful artwork again by Brad Albright. I mean, this thing was a blast to play. Gather a buddy, go head to head, and just play this Monster League Hockey game because it is such a fun time. And on the subject of monsters, being the father of a child that's 3 years old and absolutely obsessed with Monsters Incorporated, I was so happy to see that there was a Monsters Incorporated pinball machine there. Awesome theme integration. It had such cool features and functionality. It had like a magnetic slide rail that kind of goes on theme and on brand with the doors. If you've seen the movie where they bring in the doors on like a magnetic rail system. Beautifully designed cabinet. I had a blast playing that. It's very near and dear to my heart. So that was very, very cool to see that one.
Yeah, that shot is like so enticing, like you just want to go for it.
You stupid, pathetic waste!
Last year's new upstart Wonderland Amusements, they showed up and basically gave everybody their business plan and their idea. They said, hey, we're gonna make a sub $1,000 miniature home scale pinball machine for people, and we're gonna do it in a year. And I thought that was an incredibly lofty goal and very ambitious. And I was like, wow, I mean, if you think you can go from 0 to 100 in a year, I mean, more power to you. I was a little bit of a disbeliever because I thought that time frame and the turnaround and everything was beyond ambitious. But lo and behold, they're back again this year with their Alice in Wonderland from Wonderland Amusements game. They met all their goals. I think it's shipping in the next couple of weeks. The price did creep up a little bit. I think it's maybe $1,100, but still, I mean, with the world we live in with tariffs and all these other uncontrolled expenses happening overnight, I can understand that. I played it. I wanted to reserve any judgment I had until I played it because, that's what logical people do. And it played much better than I anticipated. It's not a zizzle. It's better than a zizzle. Should you compare it to a full-size commercial game? Absolutely not. Is it trying to be that? Not really. I think they know their place. It's going to be for, your non-traditional pinball people. It's interesting to see them come to Pinball Expo because I remember talking to Jerry, the founder of the design and the company, and he said, hardcore pinball people are not our target audience. And I was like, well, hardcore pinball people are the target audience of Pinball Expo. So I think maybe they would have been better suited to go to New York Comic-Con, which was a week or so ago. That demographic and that target audience would, I think, been way more receptive to them. But overall, the people that actually played it, I think the general consensus that I got from people I talked to were very similar to my own, where they were pleasantly surprised. It exceeded their expectations. I don't know a whole lot of people that are buying it, so if you're a backer, please let me know why you bought it and what you think of it. But overall, I was kind of impressed with how well they're able to pull off making a 3/4 scale mechanical pinball machine for a first try and hover around that $1,000 mark. American Pinball was here once again, and unfortunately, as most people kind of already understand, things are not looking great for American Pinball. They have all but shuttered their doors. They laid off pretty much everybody that was on the pinball side of the business. Last year, I took the American Pinball tour, got to see the factory, got to see what they were working on and everything. They announced then that they were the new U.S. distributor of the Polycade Multicade Arcade, which, for most people is not really what they're caring about because they wanted to learn more about the pinball side of things. But they've long had a rumored Cuphead game in the works / ready to go, and unfortunately, it's just not at Expo, and potentially it's never going to see the light of day. Unfortunately, like I said, they've essentially laid off everybody over there, which is sad because there was a lot of great people working over there. But they had their lineup of games on site, and they had a new product. It was Whirl-A-Ball, which is kind of a different take on skee-ball. That was the new product that they were pushing. No new pinball, just here's our skee-ball take for Dave & Buster's-esque arcades. So Yeah, sadly, it looks like we'll see a headstone for American pinball very soon. I hate to see it, but that's what happens when you have poor leadership decisions that ultimately tank a company, and it's sad to see. Exploring the show floor, got to see some interesting things that piqued my interest. There was one manufacturer from overseas that brought some HD anti-reflective glass. It was very affordable, $150 a sheet, I think is what they were selling it for. And they also had their own Black Knight 3000 kind of upgrade kit that they were showing off, which to that was essentially, it was a Black Knight 2000 game, but it had been upgraded. That had an LCD display with animations and things integrated with the game. So it's kind of a 2.0 kit, if you will, similar to what Pedretti has done, but this is from a different manufacturer. Also, there was a couple of vendors doing different takes on integrated displays inside like the apron area of your pinball machine. Very, very neat. Is it something your pinball machine needs? No. Is it cool? Yes. So I thought that was a nice thing to see out there. There was also a different company out there integrating Wi-Fi scoring and leaderboards for older games, which is always impressive when you can integrate new technology with older machines. And of course, there's lots of vendors out there selling, ramps, parts, pieces, plastics, boards, you name it out there. So you could go dig through the bins and maybe find some treasures helping you restore and fix up an old game out there, which is always a nice touch. One thing I did think was interesting that I came across was a vendor that was selling officially licensed Roger Sharp memorabilia t-shirts. It was weird because they set up a booth, but there was never anybody at this booth manning it that you actually couldn't buy anything from. And when I say it was officially licensed, I think it was interesting because they misspelled the license. It was such a head scratcher that they were there and not there in general. So that was kind of an odd highlight for me, just because it put a smile on my face. But overall, tons and tons of amazing pinball games out there to play, tons and tons of arcade games to play, retro video games, collectibles, nostalgia, you name it, it is all covered. So if you've got time and you're watching this video and you're still around, click out of the video and come to Pinball Expo. You're gonna enjoy it.